So, when you think about our planet from way out in space, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's that swirl of blue and green, right? The massive oceans and the sprawling continents. Today, we're going to take a tour of these incredible features and find out why they matter a whole lot more than you might think. Let's dive in. Here it is, the image we all know and love, the blue marble. It's what those first astronauts saw, and it's pretty much become the symbol for our home. But have you ever really stopped and thought about what all that blue actually is, and how it balances out with the little bits of brown and green we all live on? Well, here's the breakdown. That incredible blue color totally dominates because about 71% of our planet's surface is covered in water. That means all the land, every single city, forest, and mountain is squeezed into the other 29%. And you know, this isn't just a fun fact. This ratio is the engine for our climate, our weather, pretty much life itself. Okay, so keeping that 71.5 split in mind, let's just lock down the basics. What do we actually call these huge areas of water and land that make up our world? It seems super simple, doesn't it? The gigantic, continuous land masses, those are continents. And the enormous connected bodies of water, we call them oceans. But here's the thing. They aren't just static features on a map. No way. They are incredibly dynamic systems that are constantly shaping our climate, our history, and our lives every single day. All right, let's leave that 29% of land behind for a minute and jump into that vast blue expanse. Because while we give it a bunch of different names, it's way more connected than you probably realize. In school, we learn about the 5 oceans: the Pacific, the Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and Arctic. But here's the secret. They aren't really separate. They're all connected, flowing into one another to form one single, massive world ocean. Think of it like a global conveyor belt, with huge currents mixing water and moving heat all around the planet. And this world ocean is anything but an empty blue desert. No, beneath that surface, from the sunny shallows all the way down to the crushing darkness of the deepest trenches, there is a world absolutely teeming with an unbelievable variety of life. You've got these incredible, bustling underwater cities we call coral reefs. People often call them the rainforests of the sea, and for good reason. They are these sprawling, complex places that are home to about a quarter of all marine species. The creatures that live in this global ocean are just mind-blowing. They range from apex predators, like sharks, who have been patrolling these waters for hundreds of millions of years, all the way to the largest animals that have ever existed on Earth, these majestic whales. I mean, they make these epic migrations across thousands and thousands of miles of open ocean. So, from microscopic plankton that we can't even see, to giant squid lurking in the deep, from the sunlit surface to the darkest volcanic vents, life finds a way to thrive in every single corner of the ocean. It really just shows you the sheer scale of the world hidden beneath the waves. Okay, let's climb back onto dry land. You'd think that counting the continents would be simple geography, right? Grade school stuff. But you'd be surprised. The answer is actually pretty complicated. So I'll just ask you straight up, how many continents are there? Whatever number just popped into your head might not be the only answer out there. Believe it or not, there is no single, universally agreed upon answer to that question. Depending on where you are in the world or what convention you're using, the count could be 4, 5, 6, or even 7. For instance, some models lump Europe and Asia together as Eurasia. Others combine North and South America. It really just depends on your point of view. So while there's no single correct answer, the model that most of us are familiar with is the 7-continent model. That's Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, and South America. It's the one that's most widely taught and used around the world today. But here's the thing. Continents don't just exist on their own. They are defined, shaped, and surrounded by the oceans. And that relationship is an incredibly powerful one. It's a story of creation and life, but also, at times, a story of immense destruction. You can really see that two-sided story right here. On one hand, the oceans are literally our planet's life support system. Tiny organisms in the water produce more than half the oxygen we breathe. The oceans give us rain for our crops and are a huge source of food. But, on the flip side, that same energy can unleash absolute fury in the form of cyclones, tsunamis, and just devastating storms. And we saw a truly tragic and unforgettable reminder of that destructive power back in 2004. A massive earthquake under the Indian Ocean triggered a catastrophic tsunami that spread across the entire region. The human cost was just staggering. More than 200,000 people in 14 different countries lost their lives. It was just a brutal, horrifying reminder of the raw, untamable power our oceans hold. This incredible power, both to give life and to take it away, brings us to the final and maybe most important part of our journey, our modern relationship with the oceans and what our responsibility is to them. Because today, the oceans are facing threats they've never seen before. And these threats aren't from nature, they're from us. We're dumping millions of tons of plastic waste into the water every single year. We're fishing some species so much that they can't recover. And countless other types of pollution are changing the very chemistry of the water itself. As the United Nations so perfectly put it, the ocean is, quote, the lungs of our planet and a critical part of the biosphere. It's not just a big body of water to use up, it's the engine that makes all life on Earth possible. And protecting that engine, well, it's not really an option, it's an absolute necessity for our own survival. So we end right back where we started, looking at the ocean as a vast reservoir. But it's not just a reservoir of water. It's a reservoir of life, of oxygen, of our planet's future. The really critical question we all have to face is this: what will we choose to leave behind in that reservoir for the generations that come after us?